Welcome back. Hi. I just want to put a disclaimer in. This video is for educational purposes only. It discusses the psychology of coercion, control, and manipulation and how individuals in various positions of power, past and present, have used these tactics. No glorification or endorsement is intended. I am definitely going to be careful about the way I'm wording things, and if you look at the title, you will see what I am trying to get at with the way that I'm talking about people, because YouTube and the way that it's giving me strikes and stuff like that is kind of making me a little bit more cautious on my wording. So I just want to put that out there. Right now, someone is controlling you, and you might not even realize it. Maybe it's the social media's algorithms deciding what you see. Maybe it's the government or media shaping you into what you believe. Maybe it's a partner, a boss, a friend, someone influencing your decisions in ways that you don't even really notice. People love to ask, why do you stay in a bad situation? How could you have stayed? Why didn't you leave? Why do you remain loyal to someone who's using them? Why don't they walk away? But what if I told you those are questions that completely miss the point? Because by the time someone is fully trapped, their mind has already been rewired to accept it. And if you don't think it could happen to you, think again. This is how we're going to talk about how manipulation rewires the brain. Through neuroplasty, the brain adapts to repeated patterns. If someone grows up in an environment that is really bad, their brain learns to accept it as normal. Dopamine conditioning as well. Manipulators will often flood people with attention, validation, or rewards, causing their brain to crave approval like a drug. Fear responses in survival mode. The amygdala, the brain's fear center, it's hijacked, keeping people in fight or flight mode, making it hard to think rationally. This isn't just psychology, okay? This is a biological situation that's happening because our brain can literally be rewired due to environments. The longer someone is exposed to coercion, the more their neural pathways change, making it harder for them to break free, even if they physically cannot. This is step by step of some of the manipulation tactic, the psychological manipulation tactics that the people that I put in my subject topic box use in order to get to people. 1, they target vulnerable people. Exploiters don't seek out people with strong support systems. They look for those who are struggling. They scout locations like malls, bus stations, and shelters looking for individuals with nowhere else to go. Social media makes this easier, actually. Many use location-based apps to find and groom individuals online. Snapchat is a huge one. I am not a fan of Snapchat. Number 2, building false trust and emotional dependency. They overwhelm their target with affection, promises, and attention to create an emotional bond. They become whatever the person needs: a friend, a partner, a protector. 3, meeting immediate needs. Once trust is built, manipulators slowly begin fulfilling needs, offering shelter, food, opportunities, and this creates a false sense of safety and dependency. Number 4 is breaking their self-worth. They begin by breaking the person's confidence, using insults, contradictions, and mixed signals. Over time, the person starts believing they are nothing without the manipulator. 5 is gaslighting and reality manipulation. The manipulator makes their target doubt their own perceptions. They convince them this isn't control, you chose this. Number 6, isolation and dependency. They cut off friends, family, and any outside influence. They will even manipulate you into believing your friends, your family will never love you in the way that they do. The target's only source of validation becomes the manipulator. Number 7 is fear, conditioning, and normalization. They plant fear to prevent you to be able to escape. No one else will help you. If you leave, you'll lose everything. You'll never survive without me. At this point, they don't need to be physically held back. Their mind has been conditioned to stay. And this goes to show in many cases where people have tried to rescue people from that situation, and those women, oftentimes, they don't want to be rescued. Their mind has been conditioned to stay, has been conditioned to have a trauma bond or a Stockholm syndrome situation with their, with the person that's doing that to them. People might not like what I'm about to say, but I'm about to say it. Andrew Tate is a modern example of manipulation psychology. Tate has openly admitted to using persuasion techniques to get people to work for him under false pretenses. That is called fraud and coercion. Those are not... I understand that he has been in the court system and stuff and hasn't been tried or found guilty particularly about things, but the facts are is he's admitted these things online. Controlling their finances to ensure dependence. He has openly said this. Running a deceptive business model, yet still being praised. Even after admitting his tactics, millions of people still defend him, and this is exactly how manipulation works. Even after he admitted to ripping off men for millions of dollars, admitting to what he has done to women, people still defend him. So if people are going to sit here and say, how could this have happened to her? Well, look at all these men that are still standing up for Andrew Tate. Look at all these men and women that stand up for Andrew Tate despite all the things that he has said. Classic manipulation technique. Iceberg Slim, the original blueprint for psychological control. He actually wrote a book about being a PIMP. Iceberg Slim described his tactics as creating dependency through emotional highs and lows. Very, very prevalent. Breaking down people's sense of self until they couldn't see a way out. Normalizing financial and emotional control as just business. Slim's tactics weren't just about physical control. He mastered psychological domination, and just like Andrew Tate, he admitted to his tactics, yet people still praise them. And why society let explore, this is why it's like, when people ask me things like, well, how can I help? How can I see all these signs? Well, people have to look past manipulation and be able to see when they're being manipulated. And it's very hard because manipulators are so good. This is what happens. Their charisma shields them. As long as they're entertaining, people will ignore the harm. They normalize control. They make manipulation sound cool, profitable, or necessary. They deflect accountability. I don't force anyone. I just gave them an opportunity. That's classic manipulation. And when we give people like this platforms, fan bases, millions of dollars, we're telling the world that manipulation works and no one cares. How men can still support somebody like Andrew Tate after he's admitted to ripping off men manipulatively and more for millions of dollars, and men still give him money for tips. What are you trying to get tips for? So that you can become a master manipulator too? He's a very scary individual. And the scary thing is, I've met men like him. They are very charismatic. They're very hard to resist and to walk away from. And honestly, I don't blame the majority of you, if you are watching this, that still like him. Because it's so much easier to like a manipulator than to dislike them, especially when they give you some type of validation, right? How to recognize and resist manipulators, though. Develop critical thinking. Question everything, even your own beliefs. Understand what are your triggers. What emotions make you easy to manipulate. Learn the tactics. Once you understand how manipulation works, it's hard for people to use it against you. And support victims with compassion. Instead of asking why didn't they leave, ask how can we help them see the truth. If this video has opened your eyes, share it. The more people recognize manipulation, especially through this type of situation that we're trying to talk about, the harder it is for exploiters to get away with it. I thank you all for coming. Thank you for voting on this video. I really enjoyed being able to put this together and be able to research things. And I just want to thank you all for your time. Let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything you want to add to this. I know this is kind of a difficult topic for some people, but hey, it's out there, and now we have more to talk about and more to discuss. So yeah, I think it's President's Day, so happy President's Day. The ultimate manipulators.